In Dungeons and Dragons, there's a common concept, the human fighter, being seen as the most boring character option possible. But what if you were locked into that? Baldur's Gate 3 has the same large collection of races and classes as Dungeons and Dragons. So what if we limited ourselves to only those found in our real world? We would be completely locked out of any spells or magic items. So that does beg the question, can you beat Baldur's Gate 3 as a normal person? So what are the rules to this run? Well, 1. Our main party must only consist of non-magical humans, and 2. We can only use items that are found in our real world. Due to these limiting rules, there are very few ways to give ourselves upgrades, and even fewer ways to heal ourselves. So the only way we can get this challenge run started is by making our character and starting the run. Yeah, there won't be intro for me speaking with this one, because it will be voiceover. This one's just to show off that, dude.
I still think the name, according to Google, should be The Right Honourable.
Red said, disclaimer, I just read on YouTube and Twitch told Hazel to name the black character Tyrone. Hazel_TV is not a racist, however, she is a trans TV with too much time on her hands. Like and subscribe.
Do you want me to include that in the video?
No, talk Hayden.
Just generic guy. And then this monstrosity.
Adventure 4.
Red said, can I bully my friends till the point of crying as a test to see if they're a liberal snowflake or a hard wolf sexy alpha conservative like me?
Checkmate, atheist.
In this video you will find out.
Red, what the fuck are you talking about?
You may have noticed I've not actually explained our character yet. That's because this character doesn't last very long.
Well, you failed the vibe
Happened?
check. You failed the vibe check, Hazel. As simple as that.
What?
I don't know what to tell you.
What just happened?
You failed the vibe check. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, first death.
You may be confused of what actually happened, so let's go back a little bit. There you go.
Thank you for answering my questions, Muz. TV.
Alright, she's dead now. Wait, why is the final battle starting? As Lae'zel is not a human, just look at her. She's definitely not allowed in the party, so my original plan was to have her jump, but once she did that, it had activated the final room, causing the 15-turn timer before the ship explodes, which slowly began ticking down to 0. Yeah, that's what's happening. Like, the ship's exploding. So, this is Quantavius, our human rogue. I picked rogue as stealth and sneak attacks felt more human than a person knowing every weapon type, as well as a few sneaky tricks they learn later.
Pussies are like peaches. Sometimes they're not always in season, but when they are, you can bet your bottom dollar they're juicy.
This run starts as every other run does. We wake up, we talk to Lae'zel, we kill some imps, we kill Lae'zel, we connect the transponder, get mogged, nearly fall to our death, and wake up on the beach. The intro to the game is never really changed by the rule restrictions. During this section of the game, you're meant to be going out and looking for companions, other tadpole adventurers who are also looking for cures. However, every single one of them breaks the challenge, because either they are not human or the ones who are human have some magical element to them, Gale with his Netherese orb and Will with his patron magical eye. So, this is a solo run, as hirelings also felt like they broke the rules of the challenge by literally being dead people. Afterwards I got threatened, dealt with my aggressor, and finally leveled up to level 2. gaining my rogue actions. Using my new upgrades, I managed to drop the rock on these first two people. And now I should probably explain the main way I'm going to be killing things during this first act. By using my bonus action to hide or dash, range was going to be my number one tool. I couldn't take any damage because I wouldn't be able to heal it back, so I slowly used sneak attack to kill each of the members of this little gang before heading to the grove.
What the fuck is that?
That's Zevlor. This grove fight had a lot of deaths due to the enemy's ranged attacks being able to hit my very low AC. But by using grease and a candle, we were able to easily wipe out the rest of the goblins for this fight. This granted me access into the grove where I was able to watch the fight happen and acquire a very important item.
We have
I
healing.
just have like a mascot image.
You're
healing this time!
We have one source of healing. Gruel.
Scrooge's favorite food! Pop off! Pop off!
We have gruel.
I tried and failed to access this area back here. I saw the world's greatest cosplayer right in front of me. I then became the world's greatest musician. Shit. Quintavious used his amazing persuasion and basic human understanding to not have a child be murdered.
Very well. She may go.
Doesn't hesitate.
I managed to
moving
get
quickly
poisoned.
before you.
I killed a goblin in a cage. Did some trading. I also killed an assassin by asking these two things very nicely to help me. I was given a vitally important instruction and transported into the House of Hope, just to skim all the dialogue.
I could.
Grabbed a sack of
Unfolded
spider
and you
eggs,
stash the brains
met a
rooted
dog,
by
and finally leveled up to level 3. During this level we managed to gain our subclass, a very important thing for us to decide. However, due to the limitations of the run, only 2 of them seemed viable. Thief, which was about stealthing and stealing items, or Swashbuckler. In the end, I picked Swashbuckler. The dirty tricks felt very realistic for a person in this situation trying to take advantage of everything they have, as well as Panache, which was just yelling words at someone so they attacked you. After that, I entered the Blighted Village, choosing to go in from the south side as it only required 1 persuasion check. But first, I needed to kill the guards outside. I then killed a sleeping bugbear, failed to persuade these people not to fight me. I fled from the scene quickly, managed to make it past this sentinel, and proceeded to have a headache. I then hallucinated a little bit, saw a hand, and then proceeded to trade all of my items away. While I'm in this area, I'm going to begin to explain the 3 important people of the area. Draw Ragslin is the hobgoblin at the end who has the most health. He's going to be quite difficult if he ever gets in melee range. Minthara, who has a lot of minions around her, and Priestess Gut, who you can see here is branding us. But she's going to be very quick to deal with. Oh look, she's dead. I managed to start a small fight with these goblins, which nearly killed me, but that made me able to save Bolo.
Can you beat Baldurs Gate as the average slightly smarter than a normal person? Human.
I went back to the Blighted Village and killed some of the stray goblins to get some more XP. I received the vital command, and then ignored the rest of her words. I managed to actually get an upgrade to my AC, which gave me enough confidence to start clearing out the Withers too, by killing each of the skeletons from stealth. By rolling well on a persuasion check and failing to kill the man at the front door. After sneaking around the back, I then used stealth to start the combat before making a barrel wall to defend myself and slowly moving them up one by one. After getting those killed, I decided it was close enough to the next level that I returned back to the goblin camp and managed to finally reach level 4. This level up granted me the feat, Sharpshooter, decreasing my chance to hit but increasing my damage. I managed to find God's strongest soldier,
Praise his throne of flaming iron.
and then watched him fall to his death, and decided to repent by going to the dungeons. In there I helped Halson and spoke to him. I then focused on Minthara by using a technique where you lure her over using this goblin, ensuring she stays on this bridge. I was able to shoot it and knock her down, giving her the Looney Tunes death. Finally was draw Ragslin. I started by stealth killing every one of his minions that he sits with, and covering each of the ladders except from one with barrels so he couldn't get up. This extravagant plan had only one flaw: my luck. Somehow I managed to crit him twice in a row, getting double sneak attack damage on both hits, killing him before he even got a turn. After Draw Raglan's death, there was only a few more bits in Act 1 left to do, so I accomplished a few of those. These included dyeing my armour, fighting Karga's elementals, defeating the goblins at the windmill, killing the bugbear and ogre at the barn, killing the paladins in the toll house, as well as finishing off the rest of the gnolls that I had not killed earlier. Opening a box on the first try, realised that I couldn't find the rest of the gnolls because they were in the floor. Moving swiftly onwards, I decided the next enemy to fight would be the spiders. The biggest threat of the area would be the phase spider matron. Having both a ranged attack and a ranged legendary action, I'd have to find a clever way of attacking her without her able to hit me. Introducing the Box Tower, quick and effective at getting height and staying out of the enemy's reach while they stay in my crossbow range. With this, it was very easy to shoot her down while she couldn't even see me. After I killed her, I looted the area, and then fell to my death. This bug will definitely not fuck me over later. After reaching the surface, I decided to continue with 3 more fights, killing all the Zentarum, then the Githyanki ambush, and finally, Ethel. After revealing the hag's illusion, getting down to her was not a problem. I killed all the masks of servitude and managed to sneak my way to the bottom. Normally, this boss fight is quite tough, Ray of Sickness giving us disadvantage and each of the illusionary copies being able to use it means that we can very easily get overwhelmed. However, she can't get through this door, so I pelted her with arrows. After Ethel's death, it was time to move on to Act 1.5. This is a split section, either the Underdark or the Mountain Pass. The Mountain Pass has only 3 fights in it, so I started with that. I started by trading with the shopkeeper, then killing her. Then decided to kill everything around the monastery, including the Gift, the Kobolds, the Guardian, the Grimishka, and the Eagles. After entering the creche, I used explosives to the front door, and went through and killed everyone else except for Morgaz, one by one. Not before getting stuck in a time loop though. Now it was time to kill Wargaz. Being a Githyanki warrior, he gets parry, reducing my damage up every single turn. He also uses Mind Claws to get anywhere on the field and do ranged damage. I was forced to use explosives. I dealt with everyone else in the room, spoke to Vlakith, and decided to blow up the crash. Lastly was the Ghouls, Ghasts, and Death Shepherds. These were going to be a bit more complicated. Death Shepherds specifically. For using no rest for the wicked, it means that they can bring up enemies that had previously been killed. I had a few experimental methods for this fight, but ultimately, running around in a circle was the best idea. After completing the mountain pass, the only section in Act 1 left was the Underdark, so I made my way over there. I started the Underdark by killing all the creatures around the Selûnite outpost, starting with the Minotaur at the front gates, moving on to the statues by the spectator before the spectator, and then lured the Minotaur down the way to the Selûnite outpost before blocking the door and shooting them. Afterwards, I met a field of mushroom people, spoke to the best shopkeeper in the game, saved a mushroom man, acquired a shroom, killed a forgotten man and his hook horror, and headed to the beach to kill some slavers. I started off this fight by stealth killing the guys around the arena before the main guy summoned zombies. Fun fact, he can do this multiple times. I then ran the zombies round in a circle while shooting them, picked off the last 4 on the cliffside edge. Next, I decided to deal with a scary boss, Bernard. Bernard's legendary action means he can use his reaction to shoot lightning at his attacker. So what was the plan? Step 1, I hide behind this door. Step 2, wait until he's stunned. Attack him. And by repeating this, I was slowly able to kill Bernard. Then I decided to deal with the French monster, the Bolet. This apex predator of the Underdark has one massive problem. I physically can't hurt it with arrows. So I blew him up, which was very effective. I then sailed to Grimforge, where I did not shove the guy off the boat, and started picking off a lot of the Duergar one by one. There was a lot of them. I then made a deal with this Duergar, and completely ignored it and shot everyone else. I decided to lure near this cliff, and just shot him. And then finished off his minions. And finally, to end Act 1, was Grim himself. A boss that can only be damaged when he has the superheated condition from either standing in lava or taking fire damage. I can't do fire damage unless I use arrows of fire, which won't do enough damage before I die. So, I sat on top of a hill and shot him. He can't reach me when I'm up here. He could not do anything. He just dies. So I finally moved on to Act 2, after seeing an old man. Act 2 introduces a brand new threat, the Shadow Curse Land. As long as I'm not in light, I will take constant necrotic damage, meaning I must use a torch, reducing my overall effectiveness. So first, I met these harpers, watched all of them die, killed the shadows, and made my way to a sense of safety.
You might find out.
At last light, someone said hello.
Hello.
I was saved by a child I've never spoken to,
He's the one.
and I did a bunch of purchasing before heading out to find Carnis. Here, I kindly convinced him to part with his lantern and walk away,
Melt.
and saved Dolly from her
Well done.
containment.
I won't have you tracking me down.
I somehow convinced her to explode. I went to the top of the building afterwards and killed Carnis's caravan from up here. While I was here, I also killed the shadow-cursed undead that were at the fountain, got jump-scared by a woman,
Power.
and witnessed the greatest villain intro this game offers. It is literally the best one. But as you just saw, we have a problem. That man is literally immortal, so we had to end his immortality. But first, I decided to deal with most of the enemies in Moonrise Towers. This took a really long time. I then freed prisoners from Moonrise Towers. However, they left me behind, so I reunited with them back at Last Light Inn. My next goal was to kill all of the major enemies in the area. I started with the 3 increased sentinels in the basement. I convinced Malice that the best way to operate was on himself. He took it very literally. I then shot the operating nurses for dare committing a crime in front of me. I convinced a thirsty man to drink himself to death. This dumbass tried following me into the Shadow Curse before going home. Next, I wanted to deal with the Shadow Cursed Shambling Mound. In the background, I'll show me killing its allies. However, the Shambling Mound itself is going to be a problem. With its digestive juices and its devour action, it can kill me instantly, as well as having a bonus action to drag me towards it. I'd have to somehow be in a spot where it can't hit me or can't see me. I was able to sneak around and climb above it, being able to create a barrel wall so it cannot reach me, and this is where I would stay to snipe at it. Next, I wanted to do the house and beach activity, where I had a silly idea. 273 barrels, aligned in a way where it actually works. And so, using my incredible box thought, I started the beach encounter. The portal wasn't even hit once, and it was a complete success, with 198 barrels remaining. After this victory, I decided to deal with Oliver and his not-so-imaginary friends. For this, I stayed in this building and shot them. Once it was just Oliver, I got jump-scared, went through the cutscene, and ran the hell away. Afterwards, I ignored Raphael and headed deep into the Gauntlet of Shah. I then did the stealth room in the beginning, which I absolutely hate, is the worst room in the entire thing. Met Balthazar's bony boys, and watched them all die. To kill the sentinels in the bony boy room, I simply walked backwards to the stealth room and shot them. It did not start combat, and I was able to whittle them down easily. I had a simple idea to kill Balthazar. Simply, if the previous room has enemies, I just need to open his door. So I started by walking around, spending a good amount of time unlocking the door, and then I just waited. Balthazar joined the fight, and he could not handle the wave of incoming sentinels. Then I just decided to leave the rest of them alive. Now was to actually complete the Gauntlet of Shah. First was the stealth room, which I did first try. I've never done that in a playthrough. Did the self-same trial, where I fought a naked version of myself. Did Faith Leap, which took way too many attempts. But I eventually had got it completed. Convinced Jurgir to remove himself from the situation. And finally, headed down into the Shadowfell. I jumped my way down to the bottom of the Shadowfell, where I freed the Night Song, watched as she ran away from me. Now that Ketheric's immortality was gone, I was able to meet up with Jaheira outside Moonrise, talk to the Quartermaster and sell her things, before dealing with Zarel and the rest of the cult that remained in Moonrise. Afterwards, I made my way to the top, being able to confront Ketheric Thorm himself. There, I persuaded him to back down, but Aelin got in the way. So, in combat, I'm never going to win against Ketheric, him being a melee powerhouse, as well as being surrounded with necromites. I needed to use a stealthy way to win this fight. By using a box tower just off the side, I was able to make a spot where I could shoot at Ketheric Thorm and his necromites without being seen myself. So I then started a loop. I would fire and then crouch, end my turn, fire and then crouch. This allowed me to eventually, one by one, very little by very little, get rid of every single necromite and get Ketheric Thorm down to where he would surrender without even being hit once. I then got stuck in an infinite falling loop, which was very fun, and decided to head down to the Mindflayer Oubliette to challenge Ketheric and Merkel. In here I dealt with the Intellect Devourers as well as Chop, rescued Zevlor because I will need him later, and killed these Mind Flayers that were harassing him. I then headed down to the final arena, where I watched a Power Ranger cosplay. This fight is weird. There's two parts to it. One, Ketherick Thorn himself, where he is essentially the exact same as he was on the roof. We can skip this. Skipping the first phase won't help us, however, because then we would have to be dealing with Merkel and trying to save the Night Song at the same time. What we want, seeing as Merkel, the second half of the fight, is more dangerous, we want to be in a better position for his section. He has two main abilities. A AoE pull and a healing to himself. We have to find a way to stop him from healing, as well as not pull us in and kill us. While I was explaining all this, I built a box tower to get just high enough so neither of them can hit us, and then started the plan. Save the Night Song, make my way up the tower. I pelted Ketherick with arrows, not before witnessing true immortality, before finally ending his reign of terror.
What a fool you are. You cannot kill me. I am eternal. Merkel, Lord of Bones, I am here. I am ready. I am yours.
I'm sorry for hyping up the boss, but, well, the box tower allowed me to stay out of his range for all of his attacks, while Aelin just slowly killed him, because she's actually immortal. So, I managed to acquire the Neverstone, and make my way to Moonrise Towers, saw some lesbians, met a terrorist, and decided to make my way to Baldurs Gate, where I got jumped, and slowly dealt with every one of the Githyanki at this ambush. I then finally headed to Baldurs Gate, finally clearing the Shadow Curse, and making my way into the city where our enemies are plotting. Now that we're outside Baldurs Gate, let's talk about Act 3. My main goals are to acquire as many allies as possible that remain humanoid, as well as dealing with each of the major bosses of the area, ones like Raphael, Saravok. But first, our sleep got rudely interrupted, and we got to go deal with our dream visitor. Making my way through the astral portal, I ended up in the astral plane. Heading down to the giant skull, I have met the Emperor.
Don't help me.
I hate this guy, and it's mainly because he wouldn't stop getting himself fucking killed. You know, eventually, we all prevail, so it just took a few attempts. After escaping the astral plane and going to sleep, I ended up at Rivington, where I first spent quite a bit of time talking to the locals, and then getting a proper greeting from this lovely gentleman. I then raided his basement where I got exploded. I decided that wasn't for me after I met this old man who accused me of something. So I went to the circus, where I met this genie who gave me a game of chance, sent me to Jurassic Park, and I got a legendary weapon, which I sold to the Outward Lizard next door. I then thought that the clown was suspicious, so I shot him too. Turns out him and his associates are doppelgangers. I thought about entering the city, but this robot stopped me. Some random terrorist blew him up, so I decided to chase them down. Where their leader told me of the rap battle he is partaking in. Nearby I killed a freaky mind flayer.
Let's have a look.
Rapture, close your eyes.
Please don't tell me what to do. I then leveled up to level 11. Ralph congratulated me.
I'm glad you came.
Planned an ambush against some doppelgangers, and started to blow them up with explosives. I got invited to Baldurs Gate's most prestigious event, but instead I went to the basement and started killing all the guards. I reminded Floric that there's more to fight for than an old man.
When the people need a miracle, you cannot wait for the gods to answer.
And she said that she's far enough outside the gate. I went upstairs to meet the main man himself.
I must greet a most honored guest.
He proceeded to yap at me for too long, before finally getting his coronation. Woman jump scare. And then traded for some items in Baldurs Gate, as well as bought a legion of fireworks. Got ambushed by an entire fishy armada, and attempted to rob the bank. For some reason they had let me in, and I managed to break the security on the main vault. After some time. Inside, the only treasure I found was this buff man. He didn't say any words, but after killing everyone inside, I knew I had to follow him. First, I set up some explosives to save Volo. Wait, that has nothing to do with the previous point. But damn, that was a cool explosion. So I rescued Volo and killed the last member. Became friends with the Greasy Boys. Before following Minsk, I wanted to get level 12, so I had an idea. Killing everyone in the House of Grief.
We go again.
I never liked therapists. Afterwards I made my way inside. Killed the one guard that they put outside. I started building my method. Step 1 was the barrels at the door and then barrels on the stairs. They couldn't get to me, they couldn't open the door, and then I would snipe them from here. I shot one of the members, and the battle started. I effortlessly dealt with every one of those therapists, with no issues at all. It took too long. And with the final one killed, I wasn't high enough level. So, I went off to a basement to kill some rats, like a level 1 party I am. I blew up some rats in a basement, and went into the Emperor's secret lair, where I met some Githyanki. They were unfortunately on the wrong end of my crossbow, when I shot them all. After blatantly ignoring the child in the deeper basement, I went on a little XP grind, summoning a bunch of skeletons to be killed by the Steel Watch, literally making the summoning circle into the 9 hells, killed a random shopkeeper I found in the deep abysses of the sewers, got followed by a ghost for some reason, and started killing Mystic Carrion's large legion of undead that he leaves next to his heart. I also made sure to pick up his vital organs while I was here. And with that, I was able to get enough confidence to go and fight Minsk. So, I met some bandits in the sewer, and used my new Greasy Boy alliance to grease them up. I struggled on this water pipe puzzle for far too long before actually getting it solved. And fired my first explosive arrow at Minsk. What followed was the same thing you've seen the entire video. I shoot them, I crouch. I shoot them, I crouch. Except this time, I tried keeping Minsk as alive as possible, even using a non-fatal knockout on him. I convinced the Emperor to allow Minsk to join the party, because Minsk actually is in the rule set, which is amazing.
No, it is a hamster.
I'm glad to have this man on my side.
After leveling that genius to the maximum level, I decided to hunt down the heroic creatures of the area, starting with Auntie Ethel and her pirate gang? For Ethel specifically, if her flowers are up for more than a turn, she'll revive. So I blew them up.
Before doing the same to Auntie Ethel. She fucking died.
Next, I visited Cassador, struggling with this room, killing one of his servants, and spending a really long time slowly killing the werewolves that were upstairs, before descending down into the crypt. I introduced Cassador to the wrath of God. Somehow he was fine, so I changed that. I then stole a couple more organs, got yapped at by a priest, and decided I didn't like his funny words. For my sins, I went to hell. Met some lovely people down there.
You hear us out.
1,000 apologies. Oh.
I then angered Raphael so I can start his boss fight.
Right. Now, how are you going to do Raphael? He's got 666 HP, can deal up to 108 damage, that's literally a one-shot!
Wanna watch me do the same to Seravok?
No! No! Sevarok has a reaction that lets him teleport to you and deal up to 200 damage. You have to one.
Can I go 3 for 3?
I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. It's just explosives!
And with that, only one enemy remained before the finale. Using a AA battery and an arrow, I was able to make my way through this illusionary door. Down here there are 4 trials, 1 justice, insight, strategy, and courage. Unfortunately, we can't even do justice. So we're gonna have to cheat. By purposely failing one of these, I can activate the failsafe. Spawning a bunch of enemies, which I would have to kill. But meaning that the final door opens anyways. Down here, I found a dead dragon who proceeded to try and possess me before absolutely yapping. So I decided to return it back to the grave. After frying the oversized lizard, I'd left.
That means I must hit you very hard, I think.
Did the exact same to Baldurs. And speaking to Enver Cortash and securing our alliance together. And I headed to the Morthic Pools to complete the game.
Silence.
There was a time when my hamster counted every footprint that I left behind me. Whether it was in snow, mud, or evil's backside. Who did this? Because he knows the heart of Minsk.
An overwhelming force pushes into your mind. The brain.
And he knew that a part of it was all those many steps behind us. In Rashomon, at home, Minsk could never count as high as Bud. So the number of steps soon became too large for him to hold in his head. Too large and too sad. But now Minsk knows the number. The number is none. Because Baldurs Gate is my hope. And it will not fall.
Come.
You are still full of surprises, Ranger. I could not have said it better. But now that it is said, it is time. Swords, not words. Butt kicking for goodness.
At the top of Baldur's Gate, I made my way through the gauntlet. I had a few issues, but I managed to make my way to the top and arrive at the brain stem. Once me and Mince made our way to the top, he asked a very important question.
Boo? Can this nether brain sprout nether lights?
Then some woman laughed at me.
There you are. The hamster that voyaged through wild space. You are spectacular specimens.
Technically here I had to cast a spell, but that's not really important, it's required to pass through the game. This fight has a really irritating gimmick. Once you cast a spell, you have to last one turn. So the main issue was getting over to the location and protecting the Emperor while he cast a spell. So we made the Emperor sneak around the side while we stayed and defended the main central platform by summoning in our allies. Luckily our allies were able to do a lot of damage on their turn as well as take a lot of hits, allowing us to summon more, but unfortunately Quantavius died, leaving everyone else to complete the boss fight. The Emperor managed to open up a portal to the psyche of the Netherbrain.
Even bound.
This allowed Minsk to make his way deep into the psyche and send that brain to fucking hell. And with that proving, yes, you can beat Baldur's Gate as a normal person. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'd like to personally thank both Vixen and Red who appear in this video, as well as all the people who helped support on this journey. Alright, I'll see ya. Bye.